So thank you everyone for joining me, and well done, you've done day one already, and now we are on day two. So today what we've got to look at is what plants you want to look into. I'm going to go on a bit of a wild walk today, and I'm going to show you some plants that you could choose, but don't feel you have to. You could do whatever you want. I'm at Cromwell Bottom in Brighouse at the moment. I'm going to go through a few plants that are out at the moment that you can use, you can look at, you can learn about. But there might be others where you are that you want, or you might want to look at something completely new, or you might want to look at something that you already know about. Whatever you choose is absolutely fine. I hope you can see me because I'm walking. I hope it's not too jerky. I'm walking and filming at the same time. There's so much here at Cromwell Bottom. If you haven't been, it's great for a walk. It's just by the river, just by the canal, loads and loads of plants. There's a little area where you can get teas and coffees as well. And sometimes my dad's on here with his ice cream and tea boat. Not at the moment though, but he might be again soon. So I'll start with this. Oh, can I turn you around? So what we've got here is Himalayan balsam. This is everywhere. It's really invasive. Some people hate it. In fact, quite a lot of people hate it because it does grow everywhere. It spreads really, really well. And it's invasive. It stops other plants growing. It grows often along rivers and canals. And it just grows so much that it stops everything else growing, and it erodes the bank because it only has short roots. But one thing about it, I don't know if you can see just up there, bees love it, absolutely love it. So if we did get rid of it all, like lots of people want to, there'd be nothing for the bees, just temporarily until everything else recovered for a year or two. There's one right in there. So this is a wild edible. Lots of people talk about Himalayan bashing, balsam bashing, and they pull it out and bash it. However, I'm not really good at doing something like that. I don't like it to hurt anything. So what you can do is you can eat it. These flowers are edible. They go really nicely on a salad. And then if you're eating the flowers, that is also stopping some of the problems because no seeds will grow. These seeds here are explosive. I used to love doing this as a child. You squeeze them, or sometimes it's just the wind blows, and they pop and they go everywhere. I'm trying to do this gently. So these seeds here are edible too. They taste really, really nice, nutty. Also great for a salad, and when they've gone a little bit darker in the black, they're great to eat too. So it's quite hard to get Himalayan balsam mixed up because there's nothing that looks very similar. It doesn't have any poisonous lookalikes. It does have a high amount of minerals in, so do not consume too much of it. Just eat in moderation. So it starts growing around July and keeps growing till September. It starts, the seeds pop in, and it ends in October really. But afterwards you'll see stalks just stuck up where it was. There's so many bees around here. See if we can see them popping in there. Oh, there's one. See its little bottom. So that's Himalayan balsam that grows everywhere. There's so much on here. I'm trying to think, what should we do next? Some of them are past their, some plants are past their best now. So I'll show you this one that is past its best. So this is Jack by the Hedge, or garlic mustard. It's not in great condition at the moment. as it grows older, in its second year, its leaves look like this, quite pointy. But in its first year, the leaves look much different, they're more circular. Now, it's called Jack by the Hedge, grows by the hedge lots of times. This is a bit of a hedgerow here where it's growing along a path. It has some black seeds in these seed pods. Most of them have gone. Let me see if I can find one. Here's one, just one left there. So you can eat the seeds, you can eat the roots, you can eat the leaves. This is great in pestos, pastas, sauces. You can use as onions. It's really, really nice. It starts, well, it's actually about all year round. I'll see if I can find it a bit smaller. You can see its first year leaves out all the way through winter. And then it grows really big like this. So this plant can be found all year round, which is really good. Often people go crazy about wild garlic, the ransoms, but garlic mustard is very similar in taste, but it's got that little mustardy kick, hence the name garlic mustard. So this can be found all year round, which is brilliant. You can use it just like you would the garlic, the wild garlic. You can use it in pestos, you can use it in pastas, you can use it in hummus, you can use it with cream cheese and as in butter. It is so versatile. You can also use them to wrap them around meat, like one of the vine leaves, like a dolma. It's also great with pastas, potatoes, soups, with a garlic, potato and mayonnaise dish. It's really nice. It does have quite a kick to it, and the flowers also that you can add to your salads do really pack a bit of a punch. But even stronger, like with most plants, if you go down to the roots, it really is a strong flavour used to spice your meats, maybe like a spicy garlicky mustard burger would go really well. The whole plant is edible. You can eat the leaves, the seeds, the stems, the flowers, the root. It's absolutely jam-packed full of vitamin A and vitamin C, and it's got potassium and magnesium. And the seeds themselves also contain omega-3 and fatty acid, so really great to get in your diet. Look at all the Himalayan balsam there, everywhere. This is why it is such a problem, because it is so invasive. It's all along there, and just there is by the river. Though when the seeds pop, it goes into the water, which can cause a lot of the problem. So here we have nettles, Urtica dioica. Most people know what nettles are. They are really, really easy to distinguish. Most people have met them through their childhood by getting a bit of a sting. But you know, the plant is just defending itself. So yeah, I love nettles. Nettles are so nutritious. They are probably the best, most nutritious wild food that we have. It's full of so many vitamins and minerals, and it's everywhere, and it's free. So they grow in many environments. They're just growing along the path here, absolutely everywhere. There's always a few, even across here, just growing in between other things. You've always got to watch out for nettles when you're on walks. Some here, some smaller ones, some bigger ones. So most of the time they're coming to the end of their life. However, if they've been cut back a little bit, like these ones have, they pretty much start again. When you're eating nettles, you just want like the top 6 leaves. They're the most nutritious. When they've grown a bit longer, some of these ones at the bottom get a little bit, they're not very nice. They're a bit stringy, I suppose you'd say. So they love waste grounds and cultivated grounds because they love nutrient rich dense soil. I've got quite a lot growing around my polytunnel. They grow all year round. Once the leaves have flowered, they become coarse. unless they're regularly cropped. I've got a little area by me which I regularly crop. So you can use the leaves, the seeds, the stem can be used for cordage, and you can use the roots, but I've not used the roots before. They are very vitamin dense. They are full of vitamin A, C, iron, protein, silica acid, histamine, formic acid and ammonia. It can lower your blood pressure, lower your blood sugar. It is relief for rheumatism and sciatica. It increases hemoglobin in the blood, improves circulation. Now this one though, you've got to give yourself a few stings for that to happen. And it purifies the system. It also has a bit of a toning effect. So if you do want to sting yourself a little bit on your legs or on your bottom, it can help with cellulite. So some recipe ideas for the nettles. Well, obviously you might be thinking, I can't eat nettles, they sting. Once you cook nettles, I'm just getting attacked by a bramble now. Once you cook nettles, the sting goes away, or even if you bash it, then the sting does go away. So don't worry about that. It only takes 10 seconds of heat or hot water, just blanch them, and the sting is completely gone. So you can have nettles, the nettle leaves in teas, in soup. Make a gorgeous nettle soup. You can have it in bread, you can have it in lasagnas, in pastas, in risotto, as a bit of a filling for pasta. Anything that you'd use it in spinach with. I've even used it as a cake before, so nettle cake. At this time of year though, it's not a great idea to use the leaves unless it's been cropped. So after about July, when the seeds are there, it's not a great idea to eat the nettles, the nettle leaves, if it hasn't been cropped, because once the seeds and the flowers have come in, they have a chemical that can cause problems with your urinary tract. These are the flowers. This is a male. And these ones are the young ones because they've been cropped. You could use those if you wanted to eat them for nettle tea or nettle soup at this time of year. But these are the flowers. The seeds look a little bit different. I'll see if I can find them. So yeah, you can boil it, you can fry it, you can put it in cakes, you can put it in tea. So many things you can do with it. Do make sure you are wearing gloves. I know some people don't mind the sting, and some people can touch them in a way where you don't get stung, but you do get a bit of sting really. So do wear gloves. Now, nettles are often said to be detoxifying, which is great. However, they can be a little bit too detoxifying sometimes, and it can make you urinate a lot. So if you have some kind of medication that you take, then do check, because sometimes if a plant makes you urinate a little bit more, some of the medication can be washed through your system, or sometimes it can be left in your system and it can build up a little bit too much. So do watch out for that. Just gonna head down here, which is one of my daughter's favourite places to play, and I think they're gonna be a bit gutted really, because one of the trees that they always climb has fallen down. Oh no. Oh, here's a bit more of the garlic mustard. Yeah, look at that tree. These are willow trees. They always like to grow through by water. They're great to add to willow trees if you've got a boggy area, because they do soak up so much water. Now here by the river, they just, when we have storms or when we have the water flooding, they do get absolutely annihilated by the water and things going down, so they do get a little bit weak, a little bit bashed. But this will be great for other plants and other animals. to use, some fungi growing maybe, so all is not lost. Willow actually is another plant that's quite amazing. Willow bark has been used for centuries for as an aspirin, really. Yeah, so it's been used as an aspirin. People used to chew it for a bit of a painkiller, and just like peel behind the bark. Obviously, if you was allergic to something like aspirin, it would be wise to be cautious with this and also not take too much of it, because too much aspirin is no good for your body at all. More Himalayan balsam, more nettles, some mugwort. So yeah, this is mugwort. You might have heard me bang on about mugwort already. I'm a big fan. Oh, some more garlic mustard as well. So mugwort, Artemis vulgaris, always has a bit of a silvery underside. There's a few different varieties, but they are all really good for you. They grow from July all the way to September, and they again like to live in the lowlands and around roadsides as well as rivers and canals, and I'm just by the river now. Mugwort is more of a medicinal plant really, although in the past it was used as a bit of a herb, a pot herb for meats and to put in soups. I think it smells amazing. I'll see if I can find some more, because this is a really young one. It does change a little bit as it grows older, and it does flower. I've just spotted another, in fact, there's another one down here next to me, and another one here. So yeah, this is really young, probably because it's not got as much light coming through, so it hasn't grown, which you will find. So you will sometimes find things that are here longer in the season than is expected, or at different stages, because that's just how they've grown. So it has medicinal benefits. It improves cardiac complaints, as well as feeling unwell, uneasy, feelings of malaise. It's also really popular as a women's herb. Just getting a few flies crawling around me and a few bees now. So it helps with menstrual cramps, and it helps hormone balancing. Great if you're feeling a little bit angry, getting a little bit of PMT. It's great for this, great in a tea. So people take mugwort root as well in a bit of a tonic to boost energy. It's been known to help with colic, diarrhea, constipation, cramps, weak digestion, help with worms, bit of a parasite if you have them, and helps if you've got a bit of vomiting too. It helps stimulate the gastric juices. To process, you can steep it in teas, you can use it fresh or dried on food. It can, as I said, in the past they used to flavour meats and fish. It was once used to flavour beer as well, used as a hops before hops became popular. So yeah, you can have mugwort beer if you like. It's often used as a bit of a smudge stick or a burning stick instead of sage, or with other plants as well. It smells gorgeous, and it's great to cleanse the room. It's also used in balms and salves, and it helps with itches and bruising. And it's great in teas, and I really like it in a hot chocolate, helping to get those lovely hormones. Now, there is a caution, because it does have thurgonin, I think I'm saying that right, and that's an oil, and if you take it in a large amount, it can be toxic. But I mean, you have to really have a lot. If you even if you had a tea every day, that would be fine, because I often do, and I've always been fine. So it's just if you're going excessive, just never do any. Camera just went off then for no reason. So yeah, it also is a big contributor to hay fever, especially in August. So if you do suffer from hay fever, watch out for this one. So there's some interesting facts. It used to be used as an insect repellent, especially to keep moths away, and Roman soldiers used to pop it in their shoes when they've been walking for miles and miles on these straight roads to help deal with the pain on their feet, and it would stop some of the pain that they would get. Yeah, so it stopped some of the pain on in their feet, so they could keep on walking. The underside as well, do you know I said it's silvery, like the moon. That can be scraped off and used as a tinder when it's dried. I say it in a moon because it's known as a bit of a moon herb, like women's herb or moon herb. Women's have their periods usually in sync with the moon, so it's great for women, great to take around the moon time. Looks a little bit like the moon, helps with feminine menstrual cramps. It does also give you lucid dreams, so it's highly valued in some traditional cultures because those dreams were supposed to help you if you've got any emotional blockages, and it would help kind of you'd have these vivid dreams and it'd be a bit of a clue to what was going on and what you need to deal with in your life. So yeah, mugwort. I'll find a few more mugworts in the other stages to show you very soon. Let's keep going. So talked about nettles, didn't we, and how they sting quite a bit. Now there is a plant that you might think, I know what to do with those stings, dock leaf. Now dock leaf does help, but usually if you get the dock snot, I can't see any dock leaves around at the moment, but there is something actually that is much better at dealing with the sting than dock leaf, and that is plantain. And here is plantain. Two types, and they're right next to each other, which makes it handy. So there's the broadleaf plantain and the longer leafed plantain. Yeah, it's just growing everywhere, and I've just realised my battery's going. I can't believe it. I charged it and I've been waffling on and it's all gone. So I might have to carry on this bit. So anyway, broadleaf plantain and ribwort plantain, both different, look quite different, same family of plants, and they can be used for the same kind of things. They are great with nettle stings and bites. They've got a bit of an antihistamine and an antifungal in there with them. They've been used for centuries. I'm just trying to get the wind. So yeah, it's got a bit of a mild antibiotic quality too. The leaves can be used like a tea, as a bit of a cough medicine. The seeds do have a bit of a laxative property because they're called polysaccharide in it. They contain polysaccharide in it. And the leaves on the other hand do the opposite. So it's like a 2-in-1 medicine, I suppose. The leaves absorb water, which increase stool bulk, so that kind of supports you if you've got diarrhea. It's a bit of an anti-parasitic medicine as well, in case you've got worms. It also stops bleeding if it's applied as a pulp. So what you could do is like chew it up a little bit with your spit, then put it on any bites or stings if you're just out or if you're bleeding. However, if you take it home, you might want to use it in a medicinal balm or a cream or even in teas. When the seeds are brown, you can also use them in soups or in breads or on crackers. The leaves can be a little bit bitter and aren't great for eating. They're good for a cough medicine, but the flowers have a mushroomy taste. I can hear some kids coming. But yeah, you can use it in hummus actually, the leaves, if you get them young enough and they're clean. Make you watch out for dog pee areas. You can also add, I've added them to some lasagnas and things. They were really nice. There's a green in there. If you use it excessively, you could get dehydrated, so watch out for that. In the past, they've also used the fibres in them. They've got that big ridge, and they've used the fibres as cords for making fishing nets and things. It's all around an amazing plant. It does help with the nettle stings. So here is some of the plantain with their seeds on. You'll have probably seen them before growing on paths. It's got point focus there. And also here some mugwort, an older version here, and you can see its buds here. So it's quite, the buds are quite potent, better really in my opinion. And you can see the silvery underside. So this is a more mature mugwort, quite big one, quite heavy, so it's fallen down into the path there. Some of the leaves are yellowing as well now because this is in like perfect sun, so it's had a lot more sun, so it's grown a lot bigger, and now it's getting towards its end of its life. And afterwards, when it's gone, you can see the sticks, they stay for ages to their sticks. Here's one of the mature leaves. Here's a plantain growing with its seeds still a bit green there. And there's some more. What we've got here is hogweed. Now, it's not great to eat at this stage, and actually you only should eat it when it's very young and it's just opening. But this is one of those that maybe you don't go and eat until you're quite experienced. However, these parts of the plant are really easy to identify, and these are hogweed seeds. A lot of people hate hogweed because it does have a chemical inside it that can cause photosensitivity and in your skin, and it can actually burn you. But these taste amazing. They're like our own natural herb. Sorry, not herb, our own natural spice. They smell a bit like coconut, cardamom, orange. They're really great to add to soups and stews. I've made some gingerbread men with them actually before. So yeah, I don't know what happened along the way. We have all our own spices, but somehow we started getting imported spices. Forgot about all our old ones that we have just here under our noses. So you can use these just as they are, or you can even grind them up so it's like a really fine powder and add them just like a normal spice that you might add to curries or whatever you like to add your spices in. So what we have here is the hawthorn tree. You can see the little leaves there, and this is full of red berries. These berries are edible. The leaves are edible too. Not great at this time of year. Earlier on in the year they taste really, really nice. There, some red berries. These berries, if you collect quite a few of them, you can use these to make hawthorn ketchup, hawthorn syrup. They do have in the middle a bit of a stone, so there's a bit of a process. There's a bit of a process to hawthorn ketchup. You've got to sieve out all those berries, but you get lots of pulp, which is really good. Look over here, the hawthorn blackberries. Such a good blackberry bush. There's blackberries everywhere at this time of year, and that's quite good if you are new to foraging. It's a nice one. Obviously when some of them have died, but some of them are looking pretty nice still. Some really good ones over there. Always the good ones where you can't reach. But do watch out for the ones that are quite low down where a dog might cock its leg and it might have dogweed on. Oh yeah, there's some good ones. Just got to watch out for those spikes. So this is quite a well-known one. Lots of people have picked these in their childhood, so they're quite confident with blackberries. You can make blackberry pies, blackberry crumbles, smoothies, pastas. If you haven't got the pasta recipe, let me know and I can send it. So what we have here is dog rose, and that will have flowers earlier in the year, flowers like this from a photo, and then at this time of year you will get their rose hips that are growing widely. They're often found in hedges, scrubland, wasteland. You get the flowers from June to July, and then from August, November you get these lovely rose hips. They have 20 times the amount of vitamin C in that oranges does, and they are used to treat kidney and lower urinary tract disorders, as well as arthritis and gout, common colds, fevers. Got so much vitamin C in. You can make them into jams and syrups and teas, fruit levers, soup, sweets, herbal infusions, even wine. So, gosh, there's some really high up there. You can get the normal roses that have bigger ones as well. They are covered in tiny fine hairs, so you need to be careful, and you've got to remove all those with a jelly bag when you're straining, and it's best to chop them out as well. But yeah, a bit of a superfood. In World War II, when citrus supplies were cut off, the government exploited the rose hips, and they'd get children for a bit of pocket money to go and collect rose hips so they could turn them into syrups and give their children a little bit of pocket money, and then their children would get a little bit of vitamin C too with the syrups. What you've got to do to process it is you've got to chop it in half, and you need quite a few of them. Take some time, like all good things, takes time. You've got to chop them in half, and you've got to take out all those hairs and seeds in the middle, and then you're just left with like the outside bit, which is the bit that you want, and it does take some time, but it's worth it. Here's another hawthorn tree full of berries, loads of red berries. You do have to watch out for these big fawns on the hawthorn. It's hawthorn because it has big fawns. With the dog rose as well, there's also fawns on them, like all roses, so watch out for them. I've gone through quite a few there that could give you ideas, and I was going to find a few elderberries as well, but not to worry on that, as well as rowan. Oh look, here's another rose hips, really big rose hips on this one. And over here we've got just a cute little rowan with some rowan berries on there. I think I've already shared my rowan berry recipe. If you haven't got it, let me know, I can send it to you. You can add your email to the email list as well. So I hope this has helped give you some ideas for what you could use for your plant posters. You need to think of 3 plants that you want to use for ones that you want to learn about, really, and then you can research them a little bit. 3 good books would be ideal. Internet sources also can be useful, but just be wary, because anybody can write anything on the internet, can't they? It's not checked, so do watch out for that. But yeah, have a look at 3 plants. It could be ones you already know that you're confident with, or it could be something completely new to you that you'd like to learn if you're up for a bit of a challenge. And then we'll fill our plant cards out, our plant posters out, and then share it. If you're feeling brave, you can do a video too and share that. You could even go live if you want to, but don't worry, they don't need to be all singing and all dancing. You just need to get that information on there, just like the exam shows that I've emailed to you. So do check that out. If you haven't got it, give me a shout and I can add it. Don't worry if you can't do this right now. You've got the weekend to catch up. You can do it later if you like, whenever's good for you. Oh, look at this, some really big plantain here with their seeds. Broadleaf plantain. So I'd share that with you. Rose hips and hawthorn berries. Wow, there's a lot there. Look really red. And more rose hips. While my battery's hanging on, we have here rose bay willow herb. They often have some pink flowers at the end. Usually it's done by now, but this one doesn't look like it's even flowered yet, but it is in a shady area. Rose bay willow herb. You can use these leaves as a tea called Ivan chai. It used to be really popular in Russia. In fact, it was really popular before. I don't know what happened. There was a bit of a smear campaign, and then we started using tea from India, from their tea leaves. So things changed there. But the flowers are really purple, and then when the flowers are finished, they go really fluffy, and you can use that for tinder. The flowers are great in syrups as well, and cordials, so they're really beautiful, full of vitamin C as well. And in fact, inside the pith of the actual stem, you can cut that, and it's got like it's quite stiff and spongy, and then you can add that to a bit of like a soup to thicken it. And when it's young, not this time of year, maybe in like March, April, it's only a few centimeters, and you can use it like as an asparagus. That's quite nice and tasty. Have it with your eggs in the morning. Another massive mugwort there. Here are some of the nettle seeds. You can see the really big, really heavy triangular shapes. These are great as an energy boost. Great with a chocolate truffle type of recipe. I think I've already shared with you, and will again. Even more here. Loads of nettle seeds. You can see them really clearly here, hanging down. The actual nettle seeds don't sting, so you can pull them off. And you can eat them raw, actually. I can dry them out and eat them later.